Hello everybody and welcome back to Cinema in Space. It's been a while. Last review I did was for the horror film You're Next, and I think I was wearing the same shirt in that. I don't remember. I really like this shirt. I really like the movie. That's why I'm wearing it. But I'm not here to talk about this shirt or that movie. I'm here to talk about a certain movie called Fast 5, which I do own on Blu-ray. I bought this today because I just want something to watch, and it got a lot of good reviews. A lot of people were just saying, yeah, it's better than the other ones. And let me just say one thing. I don't like the Fast and the Furious movies. They're kind of stupid, they're kind of lame. I'm not into car movies. Excuse me, I just had a soup, and it was really good soup, by the way. You know, it's not a big thing, even though I do want to see that movie Rush. That movie Rush does look good. When I was a kid, I used to like stuff like this, but as I got older, I just thought it was stupid. Like, I used to own the movie Biker Boys because I thought it was hard, because I owned it. But then I realized Biker Boys was really stupid. It was like a lower grade version of Fast and Furious, and Fast and Furious was like a lower grade movie version of every other car movie that ever happened. But I have to give it credit. It was a lower budget film, and it had an audience, and it made lots of money, and now it has a continuity that could be considered as complicated as the Avengers. Now, I want to talk about that first before I go into the movie itself. It goes 1, 2, Fast and Furious, Fast 5, Fast Furious 6, Tokyo Drift, and then the 7, as far as I understand, 7 comes after Tokyo Drift. And in between those are actually short films similar to the Marvel one-shots, which is unbelievable that this movie series requires that type of continuity. Like, something that complicated. You can just have a series of films that just involve these characters and not make it something as complicated as this. But, you know, if that's what they want to do, it's what they do. I'm not going to give them too much flack for that, but it's kind of unreal that this movie series kind of got that, because they're not like, the characters in these movies aren't on the quality of like the Marvel Avengers or the Justice League characters. They're just people who are in these movies, and a certain person makes a cameo appearance at the very end, like the post-credit scene of Fast 6 or Furious 6, whatever it's called. And I'm not gonna ruin who it is, but if he's a certain person who's now making an appearance, who's now going to be taking place in these movies, then that's cool. I'll dig that. And I am going to see Fast 7, and I do want to see Fast 6, because I liked this movie. This is a really good film. But back to the topic at hand. The continuity is very bizarre, and I don't think this is the type of series that warrants like a whole confusing continuity. I thought it was 1, 2, Tokyo Drift, and then at the end of Tokyo Drift, Vin Diesel shows up, and I thought after that it would then take place. Fast and Furious would then be the story, then Fast 5, then Fast 6, then Fast 7. I didn't know it was this bizarre continuity of bizarreness. But it is, and that's what we gotta live with. The main reason why I got this movie is because The Rock's in it, and I'm a very big fan of The Rock, and I don't know why it took me till now to watch it. But another thing I need to say first real quick is, these movies, they seem to do two things. They change two things. They changed their titles, for one thing. It's Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, okay. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, no numbers anymore. Fast and Furious, which confused me, just take out the, and there you go, you have the title. Then there was Fast 5, and when I saw that, I honestly thought I was hearing of a new movie entirely. I didn't even know it was going to be a Fast and Furious movie. Then there was Fast and Furious 6, you know, it should be technically called Fast and Furious 2, because, well, whatever, but, you know. And then apparently, I haven't seen it yet, but apparently when it's billed in the film, like when you see it on the screen, it's billed Furious 6. I don't even know what the hell they're going to call Fast and Furious 7. I just hope they call it Fast and Furious 7. The Fast and Furious 7. And then, not only did they change their names, they managed to change their genre. Like, they started out as race films. It's films about street racing. Then they just switched into these, like, they were always action films, just sports action films. Then they just changed in an entirely different direction into heist crime films. I mean, I guess that's what you do with a bigger budget, but it's kind of surreal, especially if you consider the continuity. 1, 2 are, as far as I remember, they were just race films. I saw 1, never saw 2 because I have respect for myself. I saw part of 3, but then I got sick of it and then stopped watching it, and then I watched Transformers. I was forced to watch Fast and Furious, even though I didn't want to, and I didn't like it. And I watched this, and I was just like, these movies have nothing to do with, these plots have nothing to do with, I mean, the plots have something to do with the plots of the other movies, but these are totally different genres of movies. These do not classify as the same genres that they start out on, and I understand it. The budget of the first ones, they were smaller, so now they can branch out and do more things, and I'm not flacking them on that at all. The fact that these now have bigger budgets improves the movies greatly and improves the entertainment value, because nothing can just go ridiculous, and that's what I like about this movie. It has great ridiculous chase scenes, cool action. Even though there is some moments where it does drag, you're kind of just like, okay, let's get going. Then you get up, make some soup, and then you come back and you're still waiting for the next chase scene. And I'm not saying any movies have to be all action, but you can, The Avengers, that was a 2-hour-long movie, but it didn't have a lot of scenes that did drag on. It had a proper pace. The pacing of this movie is kind of unbalanced. It had too much of the, just talking about things and all that stuff. But the action scenes in it are good, and they're filled really well. And I don't really know how to explain what I mean by that, but just watch it and you'll know what I mean. Other movies that do that, where they don't have a lot of action scenes, but they fill it up to make it feel like there are longer. Starship Troopers, Pacific Rim, RoboCop, kind of. And there are a few others. But the action scenes, they seem longer, but in a good way, because they fill up the action. They make you feel like you're going through like this awesome action scene. One thing I do have to say about this, though, is even though I do like this a lot, I do feel as though it's meant to be seen on the big screen in a big theater with a great sound system. Because when you're just watching it on a TV, it's kind of just like, oh, that's cool, but it's just on the TV. It's not as big as it would be if you seeing it on like a massive screen, like at the Carmack I go to, they call it the Big D, or you see it at IMAX if they play these in IMAX. I do highly recommend this one, and one thing I do like about it is you sometimes don't really have to watch the other movies to know what's going on. Other than a scene at the end of the movie, you really don't have to understand. I mean, post-credit scene at the end of the movie, you really don't have to understand who these characters are, because they're just the characters of the movie, and they introduce them well enough in this. Oh yeah, and about that post-credit scene, they have the Avengers post-credit scenes. Now, I'm not sure if they did this whole elaborate continuity because the Avengers were doing it and it was popular, so they decided to just branch off of it. But it seems very unnecessary. But like I said, I'm not going to give it too much flack. I would highly recommend this movie, though. I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's not perfect. It does drag on a little bit, and it is far too long. 2 hours for something like this is not worth it. And this comes with an extended cut. I could not imagine what they cut out, unless it's like cooler more action. I couldn't watch the extended version, because if it's just more dialogue and talking, I would probably just skip the extended scenes anyway. But The Rock in it is really cool. Vin Diesel is always really cool, no matter what role he's in. He always somehow manages to pull it off. I liked Triple X a lot when that came out. And Pitch Black, Riddick. I liked Chronicles of Riddick a lot also. And from what I understand, he's a really nice guy in real life. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, he's always really cool. The Rundown is a great movie, so I always really like seeing him in things. Everyone else, I don't care about. Even though there was this one guy, I forget his name, who I thought was funny. I think his name's Terry Phillips. It doesn't give like the actors. Oh, here we go. Tyrese Gibson, that's his name. I don't know who the heck Terry Phillips is. Tyrese Gibson, he's really funny. I liked him in this. Tyrese Gibson, I like him too. He does some good stuff. He always has like the lighthearted roles. Yeah, so definitely check this out if you get the chance. I bought it for $15 at Target. Kind of a little too much for this, but I'm not mad at it. I'll definitely watch it again at some point. I'll show my friend Tyler, who you've seen in videos before. He doesn't like these movies either, but I'll definitely get him to watch this because I'm pretty sure he would enjoy it. The car chase scenes aren't as good as some other ones, like, you know, some, like in Bad Boys 2, that one car scene, that one scene was, as stupid as that movie was, that scene was at least really cool. What other car scenes are good ones? I haven't seen a lot of car movies. Like The Italian Job, shoot, what's that movie? Smokey and the Bandit, Blues Brothers. It's not on that quality because most of those movies, they had like real cars, like Death Proof, and had those great scenes. This one has some CG, but it's more ridiculous than those ones where those ones were going for more realistic. This one's just straight up ridiculous. I do highly recommend it if you get a chance to see it. Rent it first, and hopefully when Fast 6 comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, I will watch that and I'll review it also. By the way, I am trying to start up a new YouTube channel, sort of like the DVD Fiends or the Rough Cuts, where 7 days out of the week, everyone reviews a movie. I mean, obviously, different people review a different movie. They get a certain day out of the week. And if anyone wants to join in on that, let me know. It's going to be called The Cinema in Space to take off this stupid joke I started on this channel. Anyways, I highly recommend this movie. Definitely check it out. A little too long. Continuity is way more confusing than it needs to be. But it is a good time. Great action. And I could only imagine that if this movie had blood in it, it would have gotten an extreme R rating, like a hard R rating. So definitely check it out. That's me, and I'll catch you later.